It just goes back to my nature, I think. So, you know, as a child, I was always in the tidal pools. I grew up on the shores of Connecticut, and that's where I spent my summers, is like looking into the tidal pools and trying to figure out where the animals were moving to and from and why. And I even once like tracked my cat out the bedroom window on the third floor to see how she was getting to my bedroom at night, you know. So I've always been curious about movement patterns and why do animals move where they do, and nature in general. So, you know, that is sort of my passion and driving force, is why and how with nature. But how I got associated with grayling, you know, after undergraduate, which actually it took me a little while to realize what my calling was, and it wasn't until I took an upper level ecology course with John Seilander, and this was at the University of Connecticut, that I realized that all of the things that I was good at, mathematics and you know, biology, I loved curiosity about biology, and also just communicating science and or communicating in general, like teaching, those things are all integrated in ecology. You know, you use mathematics and you study biology, then you use those mathematics to then explain your biology findings, and then you go and communicate it to others. So it was a really good match. And then after undergrad, I went to work with Linda Deegan down at the Marine Biological Laboratory in Woods Hole, and we were actually studying trophic dynamics in coastal systems, where nutrients flow from the uplands down through the soil, the percolating soil sands, and into the estuaries and cause all sorts of trophic interactions there. And when that project culminated, this opportunity in the Arctic came up, and that was probably 1990, I think. So ever since 1990, when I went with Linda to the Arctic to study trophic dynamics, actually, of grayling in the Arctic, I just fell in love with the fish and the Arctic. So studying the same fish, even though I'm studying the same species, the questions have changed. So we were looking at trophic interactions initially, and as time goes on, you learn more, and the questions start to shift, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, the landscape is changing. How is this landscape change going to affect the populations across the landscape?